What's up, it's your boy Tommaso.
And Alessandro.
And today we're here to show you our Everything Dope bundle, which is our flagship bundle that includes every single sample and every single drum kit. Every single thing that we ever put out is in that particular bundle. If you're like, you have 124 sample packs, I'm not gonna listen to everything that you got on the site. But there's way too much dope stuff and I basically want all of it. This is the bundle that you need. I counted the samples. It's 1,086 samples in there, plus stems.
At the moment.
And every time we release a new pack, it's added to the bundle. I haven't even attempted to count the drum loops and kicks and all those things that are in there. It's massive. It's basically all of our sound design that we put out in the last 10 years or so, combined into one big bundle. Everything that we put out, everything that has ever been used by some of your favorite artists and producers is in there. And there's thousands of gems that to discover there, basically. Create your whole production career by using nothing but the sounds in that bundle, and you'll still be able to cook up hundreds and hundreds of songs and beats and whatnot. So let's get into this massive collection and show you what's inside. What we like to do is put together different sample pack series, and every single series has their own vibe and theme. And one of our most sought after series is the Horn Anthem series, and that's basically modern day hip hop and trap beat inspired stuff. The idea is to make everything in there sound massive. And the very first sample from the Volume 1, Horn Anthems Volume 1, is called Entry. And that's a perfect representation of, what I just described.
The Horn Anthem.
Exactly. So check it out. Okay, with 124 sample packs and 1,086 samples, there's obviously way too much stuff in here to show you every individual track or even every sample pack. But we're just going to show you a few of our favorites. And one of our main series, one of our most loved series, is the VHS Heroes sample pack series, which is like retro vibes and late 80s and early 90s action movies inspired compositions. And it's one of our favorite samples out of the entire series, so check that one out. Oh yeah, and again there's live strings in here, live guitar in here, real synthesizer sounds here. The vibes are just immaculate. It's just 100% retro, and it's still, this is the thing, they sound authentic and they are retro, but they're still gonna work in today's hip hop and R&B and trap environment. And in fact, these joints are getting sampled a lot by some of your favorite producers and artists. Just to give you a quick example, this joint is of VHS Heroes Volume 4. It's called Pivot, and this part right here, that was actually used by Jeezy for his song If I'm Being Honest. Another example would be of VHS Heroes Volume 3. This joint is called Showdown, and it's been used by Joyner Lucas and T-Pain on their recently released song titled Hate Me. So because we are producers and we understand the sounds and the textures that music producers, especially hip hop producers, are looking for, and because we grew up in this era where that music and those movies were brand new and out and everywhere, we understand what we have to do in order to make them sound authentic and get the textures right, but also what we need to do in order for that stuff to work for modern day hip hop and trap productions. You get those sounds and they sound authentic and they sound as good as they do, but they're also gonna work, because there's no point in just creating cool music that is not gonna, work in context for what you're trying to do with those samples. And this is one of our main goals, basically, when we put these samples together, to have the authenticity on point, but also to make sure that they are gonna work for what you're trying to do with those, which is make dope beats and turn them into dope songs. There's plenty of examples where, people did that and it turned out amazing. I'm confident with this bundle you'll be able to do the same thing. Another series which is definitely one of the people's favorites is the Soul Child sample pack series, and this is all inspired by like 70s soul music and also library music that from that era. And this is like 90% live instrumentation. So and you can see this is just one sample here. It has 20 stems in there. There's live Fender Rhodes, guitar, electric guitar, bass, strings, horns, flute, lyrics. This is like a full song, which is like the theme with the Soul Child sample pack series, to create full songs with intros, outros, verse, chorus, a bridge, solos, and you name it. This is like trying to create a full song that could have played in that era and give you something that you would find on a record, and being able to sample that 100% royalty free, which is something that you will hardly find executed as good as this anywhere. And if you do, it's probably not going to be 100% royalty free like this one is. Let's get into this sample. This is of Soul Child Volume 3, and we actually titled the sample Soul Child Volume 3 because we felt like this should be the leading thing, name-giving sample. So check it out. So you heard the intro, you heard a bit of the verse. Let's get into the chorus. Now let's get into the outro, which has like a little bit of a flute solo going on. And guitar solo. Because we're working with all musicians and live instruments in these sample packs, the way it works is usually we compose 100% of it, and we send each and every musician their part, say like, play this, we think this would sound great. But at the same time, we give them the freedom to do what they feel, would work best for their instrument. Because a lot of times when you compose everything with VSTs, some of the things that you can do and the way it sounds is not necessarily 100% authentic to what you can do and what the real instrument would sound like. And the people that play these instruments know these things a lot better than we ever could, because we don't play flutes and strings and all those things. So they know, and when they hear a part, they can replay it, but also they have the knowledge, of their instrument that we don't have. And they know ways to make it sound more authentic and, at the end of the day, better than we could. And if you do that and each and every musician does that, and you get like 10 different parts, and all of a sudden you have like guitar solos that you didn't compose and flute parts that you didn't compose, and they all sound amazing. So you can't just go with your original arrangement. You somehow got to make room and fit those parts in, because they're too amazing to just delete them and get rid of them. And so that's how you come up with all those different parts, and
samples that go for 4 minutes.
Exactly. This one is 2 minutes long and is one of the shorter ones. We have like samples that are like 4 minutes and have 2 guitar solos and whatnot. There's a lot going on, and it's full of like little moments and special things in there. Pressure, check it out. Soul Chop Volume 3. Let me just say one thing and then I'll continue to play the joint. None of those people have been in the same room. So we send out the composition and they just play their parts, right? And listen to the way the drummer and the bass are locked in as if they are looking at each other playing their parts. It's amazing. Just listen to that. Pay attention to that. Somewhere on some hard drive there's a song with that sample produced by Justice League with Rick Ross on it. Will it ever see the light of day? Who knows? You know how it goes. So we just tried to narrow it down to what we're going to show you and decided on the fact there's no way to show you everything or even get in, close to showing you everything that's in the bundle.
Yeah.
But we wanted to show you something that's not big and epic and cinematic, but still, amazing and full of vibes. This is from our New York Minute sample pack series from volume 4. The sample is titled Wisdom. And again, it has live piano, live bass, live saxophone in there. Flutes as well. And it's just, check it out. Let the music talk. Since we showed you the New York series, we also got to show you some West Coast stuff. This sample is titled Drop It Low, and it's from our West Side Story sample pack. It's more on the new school side, so check it out. Real talk box there. there's real synths all over this joint. Check this one out.
There's a hook in there.
Yeah, there's a slightly variation of that synth when it goes into the hook. And there's actually a talkbox hook on there as well, so check it out. So I guess we can agree on the fact that some of those joints go way beyond just being a sample or a song starter. This is basically a song without drums. And
it's basically beat.
Yeah. So
the thing with this pack, West Side Stories, I did a beat to every sample.
Yeah. So this is like a super usable.
So let's show another one that's more like on the traditional West Coast.
More like classic 90s.
Yeah, because this one is more modern sounding.
So the last one would have been dope, in our opinion, for like the late great Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
And this one is more like Eazy-E and NWA. Yeah. Check it out. Like, check out the bass line. God damn! We showed you horn anthems and New York Minute and the West Coast sample packs, soul packs, VHS Heroes, so the retro vibes. But there's also the flute anthems series, which is basically the same thing as horn anthems, but with flutes. And that has been sampled by Jermaine Dupri, just to name, you know, the most successful out of the bunch. Then there's R&B samples, like the Bedtime Stories sample pack series. I just wanted to point out that there's also vocal libraries with vocal phrases recorded with real singers and rappers and things like that. So you can either chop them up or, you know, use them as background texture. So, and there's like 10 of those, I think, in there. And then there's also, we haven't even spoken about drums yet. So there's drum kits with loops and one shots, all designed and recorded. So no recycled, all, you know, trash sounds that you hear every and anywhere. Let's show you some of that as well. Let's get into some drums. Let's just take a sneak peek into the Premium Bounce series, which is like the most recent drum pack collection that we put out. And this one is full of drum loops and also, you know, the one shots and the percussion loops. And I basically record all of those sounds live. Some of them are real percussion. Some of them are like my toys from my kids that I just sample and then, you know, edit them to sound like something completely different and cool to my ears. And then I also design all the kicks and the snares and one shots and not. And then once I got all of that, I, you know, use just those sounds to put together drum loops. And that's basically everything that you get in those packs. Let me play you a few of the drum loops that are in there. And then there's also like half-timed edits.
All these loops are,
you know, some of them you can tell that when I grew up listening to hip-hop music, but I like intentionally make an effort to also make stuff that doesn't sound like 2000 stuff, but actually like more contemporary and like more 808, you know, focused and just more contemporary, really. And these loops and sounds that I just played you are all of Premium Bounce Volume 3, you can see, just to give you a breakdown of the folder structure, there's vocal chants, so like stuff like that. That's all me, I record that stuff and then just edit it into oblivion. And then claps, cymbals, those are mostly live recorded. And the drum loops, obviously. Stuff like that. Hi-hat loops. I have a friend that was so kind to let me use his drum kit and record some real hats and ride loops and stuff like that. Those are digitally designed hi-hats, and then kicks. Kicks raw, which is like the same or similar sounds with a little less editing. Because sometimes the editing is already to a point where you can't really change the character of the kick too much, and these give you a little bit more room to, apply your own editing and make the kick sound better in context with your beat. Sometimes you want to do that, so that's an option that you have with this pack. Then the percussion loops. And there's just so much stuff in here. The snares raw, same concept that, I explained with the kicks earlier. And that's basically that. And there's like thousands of, kicks and snares and drum loops and all those sounds. In one of those packs.
There's 3 packs.
There's 3 of those packs.
Yeah.
And then there's like, Pezzy drum breaks, which is like a collection of drum breaks that we recorded with a real drummer. Then there's the Smack Pack series.
Yeah, Sonic
Dope series that also includes like song starters. Actually pretty cool song starters that have also been used by artists like Chris Brown and Fabulous, and just to name a few. There's a lot of dope stuff in there, and these are just the drum kits that you all get included in this big bundle. So I hope you enjoyed this little presentation. Again, there's just way too much stuff to show you every single thing that's in this big bundle, because there's 1,086 compositions plus stems, countless of drum loops and one-shots. So you basically get everything you need to either get new inspiration for your production or just jumpstart your production career with the sounds that you need. And I said this before and I'll say it again: if you have this everything dope bundle, you basically don't need anything else to create dope sounding hip-hop and R&B and trap beats. So the price for this massive collection is $799. I forgot to mention there's also a mixing and mastering video course in there of him explaining his process and how he mixed and mastered all of those beats and songs with hooks and things like that we put out, that helped us to create this $1 million beat selling business. And so that's all in this bundle for that price. However, this big bundle is also on a discount, even further discounted very often, or the regular sales like Black Friday, Christmas, and things like that. So you can literally get our entire collection of samples and drums and vocal packs and everything that we've put together in the past 10 years for like a couple $100. And again, that's all the tools you could ever need in order to make dope tracks. So definitely check this one out, and definitely keep an eye on those during the sales like Black Friday and Christmas and things like that. Again, thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next one. Peace.